Hello there. I'm a pinball guy now, apparently. This is my very first real pinball machine, the 1978 classic table Playboy. And I couldn't be happier to have it in my collection, even though I did not plan on this, and I never really saw myself getting into pinball. A lot of friends of mine really made the pivot into pinball, and while I could enjoy pinball, I just thought a virtual pin was good enough. You know, I could hundreds or thousands of tables, the Zen tables, and the market for pinball was just so crazy and so high demand. The prices are insane. The collectors are really hardcore, and I just didn't want to get into that. However, my brother is a big fan of this table at one of our local arcades, and he saw one on the Facebook Marketplace that was surprisingly affordable. So he didn't have room for it, but he told me about it, and I felt a little bit of peer pressure, and I jumped on it. And while it was playable, it wasn't in the best of shape. So I figured I would just call around and see what I could do about getting this one fixed up. Because I was woefully unprepared for what was found inside of this thing. The electronics were all screwed up. You had lights but no solenoids, or solenoids but no lights. You had bypasses and alligator clips all over the board. You had cut wires and burnt out fuses all over the rectifier. I didn't even know where to begin. And so I called around to a couple of local pinball repair people, and they all told me 6 months before they could even look at it. So I was a little, disappointed that I got this table in, but I couldn't play it very much. I couldn't play with all of its features. So I figured, what the heck? You know what? I'm a big fan of TNT Amusements and Todd Tuckey. So I just cold called their shop and said, do you have any room in your schedule to maybe fix up this Playboy table? And as luck has it, they did. So they had an opening right away. They actually sent somebody from Pennsylvania, it was a couple, like 2 hours away from me, to come and pick up the table. They took it back to their shop, and in a few weeks, they called me back and said, it's ready to go. And I couldn't miss the opportunity to actually go and meet Todd and take a look at TNT Amusements in person. So rather than delivering it back to me, I said that I was going to go pick it up. So my buddy Tony and I got in the little road trip together, and we went up to TNT Amusements to meet Todd, look around the shop, and get a detailed explanation of everything that went into the restoration of my Playboy pinball table.
All right, Todd, tell me what you did for me here.
Well, we changed one lamp. That's all it was out.
That's it.
And that was it.
It's such a difference.
One, and we changed just one. You can obviously see the big difference, especially if you took a video before.
I did indeed, okay. Yeah.
Now this, first time we put 3 blue fire bulbs in there. It was the first time we tried it, and I thought it looked sharp. These are new caps. We put color changers here, so they'll change. We have new drop targets. Obviously, you have to put them in. Now, Steven touched this up, and I think you'd have a hard time seeing where.
No, it blends perfectly.
Yeah, he's done a marvelous job. The plastics were all perfect, really, which is really unusual. But we did put Lexan here to keep them from damaging themselves.
I had to make a plastic, again. Don't forget.
Oh.
Clear one underneath.
Yes. This white plastic's not broken. Made anymore.
Oh.
And you couldn't make the loop right. So it hits this switch, and it would not work. So he had to do that.
Custom made parts.
Yeah,
right.
so the Lexan, that's made out of Lexan, so it'll never break. All these have new caps on them, so they're sensitive to a quick hit. So if it's hit hard, it'll still pick up the switch. Let's see. Obviously, everything came off, and they scrubbed everything. All the posts are clear now, because when they're clear, they denote the color of the bulb. So this one looks pink.
It shares all that color out.
Right. These show here. Now, when this goes on, that's a color changer. And then you'll get your extra ball for that. So we put a ice blue LED here to accent the blue here. Timmy came up with this idea. The LED also lights the shooter lane and the button. So we took the red out and put in clear. So this is, they're clear. We have a new bronze barrel spring here. This is a new sticker that we had. Classic Arcades makes them. He also makes the caps. So he also makes drop targets. It's very hard to get a lot of parts for this. Obviously, all the lighting in the head is new. Everything's LED now, and then everything's running. Your original board we were able to clean up and fix, and that battery board will last. There'll be no more leakage.
Yeah, there was just that pack of double A's that were kind of hanging there
dangling. You don't see dangling. I'll fix it, and he did, didn't he? So this is brand new. You have to change these because these are solid state. So I'll show you because the guys are on vacation. That's what they do. Do you see that flickering?
That flicker instead of turning on?
Not all the lights. Some of them stay on right, but others flicker. They're not supposed to. And that's because the old board is in it. So he went on vacation, so I can't get the boards right now. So that's brand new. This one, we changed all these capacitors, or capacitors, to make this run. Now there is your volume, right here.
We were just adjusting that.
And then there is your sustain.
So.
Now all the pins here had to be changed. They had all had acid on them. So he dug out each pin and put a new pin. We squished the pins on. These connectors are new. All three of these connectors
they were in bad shape.
Had to be changed.
Yeah.
With new pins. This is brand new. And now you have a light to tell you what fuses are out.
Very helpful.
This has a new cap here, a new capacitor here, and we've updated the fuse to take a normal fuse, normal size fuse.
And you guys had no problem wiring up a brand new rectifier board, even with however the wiring might have been done up in the years since?
Well, the wiring was horrific.
Yeah.
But we fixed that.
So you just put everything back to spec. Yeah. So everything's cutting to where it's supposed to.
Yeah. Now, all your displays were okay, I believe. A couple of them are starting to bleed a little. We had to reheat them. This one has a tiny bit of bleeding, but it's not going to go bad in your lifetime. Vacuumed it. Oh, a new power cord. It didn't like that. It didn't like that. And then there's our now to make that more sense, we have it up, down, because it was too sensitive.
Gotcha. It was hit inside.
The cabinet switches are brand new. See, this is clear to allow the light to light the buttons. The flippers have new end of strokes, new plunges and links. These were shot. And then new sleeves in the flippers. So that kind of takes all the bullshit out of it. It really does. I think it came out pretty nice.
Yeah.
All things considered.
And then, of course, there's also all of the side and front art that's been repaired. And there was gouges all in the backboards.
Look at the cabinet Stephen worked his wonders on. Stephen, tell him all your wonders, young man.
Color is not easy to match.
No, I'm surprised that you were able to do this at all. And if you did, I thought it would have to be a complete sand down and just maybe redo new graphics, but this is all painted.
Well, hand painted, yeah.
Yeah, that was almost completely wiped
was
out.
Gone. Yeah, this whole key was gone, and there was a big hole here.
That's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Playfield wasn't in bad shape. I definitely had to do some touch-ups, but it blended pretty well.
Yeah, you can't even tell.
Some spots where I had to blend it in, but
and only the man who blended it could point them out at this point. Now, while Todd and the guys got this all buttoned up and wrapped up ready for shipping, they let Tony and I go ahead and roam around the front showroom and play some arcades and just generally have a good time. Don't mind us, we just hanging out at TNT Amusements. So here we are, just having fun, hanging out, making TikToks, and just taking in all of the games and tables that they have here. And we kind of had the place all to ourselves at this time. It's just a Tuesday afternoon, and there was no parties booked right now, so they just let us hang out, and we just had a blast. total kid in a candy store here. And that's when I stumbled on something I didn't expect. Right around the corner was a Bally Star Trek table, and it was part of Todd's bargain basement deals at the time, so the price was really great.
So I got both of them!
Now, while there is a ton of wear on the Playfield, they went ahead and took this back to the shop while we were there and just cleaned it up. They went through all of the boards, the mechanicals, the electronics. They reflowed solder, they replaced switches to make sure this thing was perfect.
High voltage cap, that's for your displays.
Alright.
And this drives the 5 volts. We're gonna do that cap. And I'm gonna change this fuse holder so you can put a regular fuse in there so you don't have to find this tiny little fuse.
Awesome. The cabinet price was already a great deal, but with all this extra work and extra parts they put into it, this thing was just an amazing bargain.
Aren't I great?
We just had the best day hanging out up in TNT Amusements, playing games up in the showroom, hanging out back in the shop, talking tech with the guys. It was just one of the best experiences I've ever had. And of course I had to get some one-on-one time with the Polybius machine. Todd and his guys are great, and they're just as nice and fun as you would expect after watching their live streams. They got our truck all packed up, and then it was just time to hit the road.
Thank you, Todd!
I can't recommend working with these guys enough, and I personally can't wait to go back soon.
Adios. And with that, my pinball adventure has come to a close. I've got my Playboy fully restored, I picked up a Star Trek, I got the full TNT Amusements experience. I don't need to be one of those guys who just collects table after table after table.
Yeah.
Damn it.
But that's a story for another time.